All right. We can't, recently one of the officials left the country to the United States and they resigned and said, well, there's no way there's going to be free and fair election. But
indeed.
We have joining us now a lecturer from the Pan-Atlantic University, Dr. Austin West, joining us right now. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Now, how more complex are the issue, the political development in Kenya right now? The opposition, Raila Odinga, is saying, well, there's going to be a mother of all protests on the day that the Supreme Court has set as the rerun.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that Kenya is getting deeper and deeper into a crisis, political crisis, and that, of course, has its toll on the economy as well. You know, people are losing jobs. Any election year, you know, economy will also slow down. You know, there'll be monies taken out and for campaigns, and jobs and all that are not created, and stuff like that. But again, going back to when Kenya gained independence and how comparing that and what is happening today, you find that really that democracy has issue in Africa, you know, because right from when, you know, these are political, Odinga and Kenyatta, the political families, you know, right from their fathers.
Exactly.
You know, and
from pre-colonial to colonial days.
To colonial days. But what happened? How was the Kenyatta Senior able to handle it? That this Kenyatta Junior is not able to handle it. It's simple. Now, the Kenyatta Senior ran a zero-sum politics. What do I mean by that? You know, it's not, you know, the zero-sum, no, he ran an inclusive politics, a positive politics. And what most African, what the son is doing now is a zero-sum politics. Party politics is actually destroying what you call democracy in Africa. It is not good. That's a major problem in Africa. And in Kenya, when Kenyatta Senior was there, he ran a positive politics, all inclusive. He selected the best, irrespective of your political leanings, irrespective of whatever you are.
Well, can we blame only Uhuru Kenyatta for the problem right now of that? Because Raila Odinga as well is not, cannot be said to be clean.
No, we are not saying...
Many suspect him, really. They don't trust him with power, and that could be why he has lost many times at the polls, because he carried out the botched coup, and then he didn't get power, and then somehow, almost every time, he appears to want power. And many people say that never give power to someone that appears to be too hungry for it.
Yes, but I'm trying to trace, to know, comparing the present situation and then the past. What happened?
Because it seemed to be a repeat of history.
Yes.
In some kind.
That's right. So when the Kenyatta Senior was there, he said, look, everybody on merit, if you're good, come help. And what happened to the economy? The economy of Kenya grew 20 times. Now, the Western nations put pressure after him for multi-party democracy, that Kenya had one strong party and the opposition was a bit weak. Due to pressure and all that, they bought into it. Then came Arap Moi, who said in his opening speech that now that the other party, when his tribe, his own tribe, ethnic group, the other ethnic group, Kenyatta ethnic group was in power, they were eating meat. And his own tribe were eating bones. Now that he is in power, it's their turn to eat beef. Yeah, meat. While the opposition will eat bone. That was how Kenya became the way it is today. And it's deepening, the crisis is deepening every day. Now, Odinga himself, you know, the thing is that we should go back and ask, when somebody is dancing on the street, the drum beater may be in the bush. Who are those beating the drum for this guy? You know? So don't forget the role of the Western nations in making sure that Africa is destabilized, and Kenya for that matter, you know, so that their own interests will be, okay, achieved. So Odinga himself is not being real.
Well, we can only allege it anyway.
Yeah, Odinga himself, you know, I know how these people operate. You know, and I don't work for any one of them, but again, through my research and all that, you can find out how they operate.
Kerry commended the election, said it was free and fair. It was quite impressive.
Who?
Kerry, when he was there during the election, wasn't
John Kerry?
Well, he said, well, what do they say? That's what I'm saying. For as long as I serve their interests, it's fair, you know, it's a fair election. But if it does not serve their interests, it's not a fair election. Okay?
All right. Now,
so that's the point.
What scenario can play out on the 26th when Raila Odinga is saying, no, there's going to be protest that day, is calling on all Kenyans or members of the opposition to come out en masse to protest that day, and then on the other hand, Kenyatta is saying everybody come out and vote. What scenario can play out?
Now, it's going to be a clash of interests. But Odinga is himself, what Odinga is doing now is not what he's supposed to be doing now. Okay. He should have done it before the actual general election to insist on electoral reforms.
He actually insisted. He had been shouting, but they didn't listen to him. So that was what part. He even conducted a press conference a day before the election.
He should have even.
And he made some allegations that they should look out that this would happen, that would happen.
He went on to enter the elections. He went on to contest that election. He should have said, okay, look, guys, we pull back. If he wants to continue, you know,
he would have boycotted the election far before the conduct of the election. He went in, which means that the system and whatever the outcome was binding on him.
Exactly.
Maybe because he didn't trust the judicial system there, maybe somehow. And then now that the judicial system has proven itself to be
so let him obey the judicial system by going through the election.
But he went to court, putting some allegations down, saying that this and this must be done, and that the chief executive, Ezra Chiloba, must resign. He refused, and that was why he pulled out of the rerun election. Now, Chiloba has announced that, yes, he's going to step aside, not resigning. He's going to step aside, go on leave for 3 weeks. Okay. Odinga has not said anything, and is putting everything on hold somehow until a day before the rerun election on 26.
You know,
are you hopeful, really?
No, you see, because he's putting Kenya into, don't forget how many thousands of people died.
In 2007.
During the other election. These two people.
True.
Okay? So I just hope that what happened to our late MKO and Abacha will not happen to them in Kenya. You know, and when you know, suddenly two of them died, hoping there'll be peace in Nigeria and all that. You know, I hope that the CIAs or the British intelligence will not take out these two people if they see that, you know, that the election, I mean, many people will die.
The stumbling block in the
way. Somebody might fly a kite. So take these people out of the way, and then Kenya will have peace.
So what should the regional bloc be doing at this time? You expect the IEC to call the leaders to the table and then say that peace must be entrenched there, especially because we know that Kenyan elections are always dependent solely on ethnicity. Every time.
But it was not so before. Yes,
but now
it was not so before. But now, because these two people have actually deepened the ethnic crisis in Kenya, you know, starting from Arab Moi, you know, Arab Moi. So I don't know which of them belong to. I think Odinga must belong to Arab Moi's side and all that, and stuff like that. But again, African Union supposed to, you know, the time of sovereignty and all that is in the 60s. But now in the 2000s, the knowledge economy, it's all about self-determination. In self-determination, you can come in, actually, African Union can actually move in to make sure that lives of the people are protected. Okay? African Union can move in and say, look, we are going to make sure that we conduct, assist in conducting elections.
You've not seen AU pull its weight as expected in the past. That was why I asked about regional bloc, EAC, East African,
the South African this thing.
EAC.
Yeah, they should. First of all, then AU will now come in. AU will now come in. Okay? So the regional blocs are not playing the role they're supposed to play. And they must make some conditions. Look, Kenyatta, if so does not happen, we're going to sanction you. We're going to make sure that you don't get all the benefits. We're going to isolate Kenya, okay? We're going to isolate Kenya. And that's what the the East African bloc should do. And then AU will support. When AU support, EU will support. And international community will have, the pressure will be on them to make sure that elections are, are conducted. But again, it depends on whose interests. Whose interests? Both the EU, AU, and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so whose interests? If it favors the European Union interests, of course, They'll play.
All right. In looking at this objectively, how realistic would it be when Odinga is saying that there has to be reform in the IEBC? Now, in reforming the IEBC, there are processes, there are legal processes it must go through before reformation is carried out.
It will take time.
It will take time.
Yeah, I think he's not been real saying that. This is not the time to begin to reform. Now, I think he should go allow the election to run. And Odinga will volunteer himself to be part of that reform. The reform process to make sure that every party is satisfied. But this election must go on. If it's not going on, then the incumbent should continue for a period.
Yeah, well, President Uhuru Kenyatta is constitutionally backed to stay on till 2022, with or without election, unless he loses. Maybe that is why, and many are saying it, maybe that is why he doesn't even want to seem to force the IEBC to carry out any reforms. Either way, he's favored.
That's right. So that's what I meant by interests. The man that is being favored is,
has nothing to complain
at all. So, but again, if I were Odinga, I will, act as the tragic hero. Forget my own personal interests, and then make sure that subsequent elections, it will be a good achievement for him, and he might get the presidency in a platter.
He's getting old.
Yeah, well, how old? How old is Trump? How old is Clinton? How old is
Buhari?
Exactly. How old is Mugabe?
You have to go there.
How old is Museveni?
So he will join the rank of 5 years. Is just like, very soon, 5 years. And the guy will still be young. But if I were Odinga, that's what I'm going to do. He will do more for Kenya. All is playing out now is selfish interests. But a struggle which has been Africa's major problem, right from colonial days. If you were in the English speaking, the British had this divide and rule. Getting a minority to take over and then make sure they control the indirect rule and all that. So and the struggle for power is so much that they forget anything about development. They forget. So that interest, that vested personal interest, is the major problem, and the party politics in Africa is contributing and fueling the crisis we have in our politics.
All right, thank you very much for your analysis. Dr. Austin Nweze, a lecturer at Pan-Atlantic University. Thank you for your analysis.
My pleasure.
As Africa again searches for a smooth transition from one government to another.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.